Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Soccer Over There. It is your host, Nick Alifi, joined this evening by the godfather of all things soccer here in the stateside, Mr. Jason Longshore. Sir, how are you?
I'm good. You wouldn't have said any of those nice things if I'd used the Old Town Road remix as the new entrance music.
No, I wouldn't have. No, I would have been like, here's a guy who's on the line right now, and he's gonna do some things. That's it. All right, Jason, take it away. That's probably the intro, the substitute intro that would have been given.
It's a great song.
No, man. I'm sorry. I refuse to buy into. Well, okay, I will say this: it is a country song. For all those out there who are saying it's not country, it's not country. It is a country song.
It's a country song. It's a trap song. It's all kinds of songs. It doesn't have to be, that way. That's what I love about it, is that it does cross over into a bunch of different worlds, and I like it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you like it, and apparently I am in the super minority.
Yes, you are. It's okay.
Who don't like it, and that's okay.
We all get things wrong sometimes, Nick.
It's okay. It's okay to apparently be on the outside looking in here. I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with myself as a man, knowing that I'm going to let the rest of humanity run with this, and I shall just be an observer of what's happening.
Well, we appreciate it. But I know you had a rant that you wanted to unleash, and I don't think it had to do with the horses in the back.
No, I had to take my sip of tea here before I get started. And Jason, I'm tired of having this conversation, man, about racism in soccer. I'm tired of it.
Oh, boy.
I hate this. I started following Serie A when I was a kid. Always gravitated toward AC Milan. Always gravitated toward when you're growing up in Georgia and you have what some kids consider to be a funny sounding last name, and you turn on the TV and you see a bunch of guys running around in blue jerseys with names that look like yours and sound like yours, and a lot of the guys look very similar, to a lot of people in your family. You start to gravitate toward that because you feel represented. And over time, the makeup of the soccer player in Italy has changed. In the 2006 run with Mauro Camoranesi, who's Argentine, people were freaking out. No. We only have to have, only people of pure Italian blood need to wear the blue shirt. And it was garbage because he was critical to that run. And it blows my mind that you had a player like Mario Balotelli. And if you read the story that ESPN posted about him, you will start to realize that there's a lot of demons behind Mario Balotelli that were born and cultivated in Italy with the racism that runs rampant there. And we have seen this with Frank Kessie, with Milan. We saw this with Eto'o, and now we are seeing it with Moise Kean and Matuidi. But with Moise Kean, he could have played for Côte d'Ivoire. He could have played for the Ivory Coast. Chose not to. Chose to play for Italy. And that kid is going to be a star. And I have to say this because I'm going to approach this from a couple of different ways. I was going to do hot drops on this, and every time I started to cut hot drops, Jason, F-bombs would drop. Profanity would come out. I found myself getting too angry, and I had to step away from it. I have taken time to reflect on this, and I know people are probably rolling their eyes, going, "Oh, what are you reflecting on this?" You have to understand how emotionally tied I am to Serie A. That we're all very busy people, and for me, it's important for me to show love to Serie A, to spread the word of Serie A. Jason, we had conversations when ESPN Plus picked up Serie A, how excited I was. I mean, I was all caps, everything, screaming, yelling, dancing around. And now I don't even want to cover it anymore. Like, that's how pissed off I am at Serie A. And for those who didn't watch the game, Juventus was playing Cagliari, and Moise Kean scored and went and stood in front of their supporters section like the Night King from Game of Thrones. Just lifted his arms up, didn't mouth anything, just stood there and stared. And here came the drinks that were flying at him and racial taunts. Matuidi threatened to walk off the field, and he got pulled, and Moise Kean got pulled away. And you're doing this to a kid who is going to represent your national team for the next decade, who is probably one of the most electrifying talents that this team has fielded since Totti in his prime. And you're telling me you're gonna launch racial insults at this kid? For what? Because he did what strikers do and he scored? Oh no, boo-hoo, he scored on your team. Now you're gonna racially insult the guy? But I promise you, come Euro, when he's scoring goals, even the most racist one of those clowns will be sitting back going, oh, wow, okay, I'm kind of glad he scored that goal and we're going to beat France today. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to score a critical goal, and a lot of you racists are going to have to do some gut checking. Because you don't have a problem with the fact that a Juventus player scored. You don't have a problem that a Juventus player stood in front of your supporters section. You do have a problem that a black player did it. So it's time to start having that real conversation with yourself. And on the at Sock over there, I officially changed the profile from my dear Andrea Pirlo to Moise Kean, because, and it's small and it's a stupid gesture, but I think everybody knows where I stand with Juventus in general. But I'm tired of this same conversation. And then the president of Cagliari comes out and goes, oh, well, it's not just because Moise Kean's black. If it was another player who had scored, we would have said the same things.
Nonsense.
And it's garbage. Yes, it's absolute crap. And no, they don't have the infrastructure in these old stadiums to do what the Premier League does, where you can, use the closed circuit television and find these people and boot them for life. So Serie A needs to step in and say, okay, we're docking you points. We're going to, drop you in stadiums. I don't care what it is. You better find a way to police this. Not because it's just abhorrent that this is happening, but also from the fact that if you are Serie A, let's go ahead and get super cold-blooded for a minute, Jason. Let's talk dollars and cents. Let's talk about the fact that the Premier League makes money hand over fist, because they have a league, and yes, they do have racial problems of their own there. But when they find those people, what do, Jason?
Banned. You're done.
Banned.
Bye.
They're gone. They're gone. They handle it. And the Premier League is beamed to millions upon millions of homes around the world because it is exceptionally marketable and generally beloved. Serie A is a rebuilding brand. And and as somebody who has defended Serie A as much as I have, for me to say, yeah, I'm thinking about walking away from your stupid league and your backwards way of thinking, that's saying something. Because that's dollars and cents that will be directed elsewhere. And I'm tired of having this damn conversation when it comes to Serie A. And I have relatives that I have to have this conversation with. They just have a backwards way of thinking about it. And if Serie A won't do anything about it, then UEFA needs to step in, and they need to do what they did with England back in the day with the hooligans. You're banned. You're not coming. You love that money so much, you're not getting it now. You're cut off. And that's the only way to get it done. Because I would rather them to be angry and silent and shut their mouths if they're not going to make necessary changes to their lifestyle. If they don't want to take part in the education of how to be a decent human being, then that's their problem. But I don't have to give you money in the process of that. So you could shut your mouth and let human beings play the game without being ridiculed for something that should absolutely not be ridiculed at all. Or sit at home and be broke. Be loud and understand that words have consequences, and be broke. Yes, there's freedom of speech, but if you go and you spout off some nonsense at work and you get fired, you can say free speech all day in the unemployment line. And UEFA needs to step up and cut off the cash flow to Serie A and say, no, Juve, since you have so much pull, you're not getting Champions League money anymore. Get the rest of your league in line. And for Moise Kean's own teammate, Bonucci, to come out and say, well, it was 50-50, he shouldn't have celebrated like that in front of their fans, and they shouldn't have said what they said. That is absolute BS to the highest degree. That is like a whole mountain of cows. If you took every cow in Oklahoma and took all of the crap that they drop in a day and you mount that up, that's about maybe a quarter of the amount of BS that I'm talking about when it comes to Bonucci not coming out supporting his own teammate. And that's what we have to deal with now. Jason, I don't even want to cover Serie A today because I need to go and think about how I want to cover Serie A going forward in general.
The league has to do more. As I'm looking back to read more about responses and to see if anything else had come up about it, I pull up an article from January 9th, 2018, where Serie A club Cagliari will not be punished for racist chanting by their fans against Juventus midfielder Blaise Matuidi. So this was not even the first time in the last couple of years with the same club, and there's more. You can keep going further back. Same club has had issues historically with this. The incident had the club issue an apology to Matuidi the following day. Serie A's disciplinary report found that, quote, no determination can be made with regard to Cagliari for the deplorable expressions of racial discrimination of which Juventus player Blaise Matuidi reports he was the subject. No sanction can be brought because those expressions were not heard by either the match referee nor by FIGC, the Italian Football Federation, employees, nor filed in the match report. Okay. The referee didn't hear it, which is possible. The referee has a job to do. He's not listening for specific chanting. Okay, fine. There's a fourth official who, he should hear it. And there are federation officials there who should hear it. And there are club officials there who should hear it from both teams. And if it's not filed in the match report, but it was heard, then whoever filed the match report needs to be fired. Period. It's heard. You can't say you didn't hear it every single time that everybody else hears it. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. The whole thing about...
It's an entire end of the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about Ken shouldn't have celebrated the way he did. He had been racially abused before he celebrated in that manner. Did it get worse from there? Yep. Does that make it okay? No. Like, it had already happened. His celebration was in response to it. And this is the stuff that drives me insane with something like Bonucci saying that. You're trying to twist it into something it's not. There are some serious issues, and I will go back to what Gareth Southgate said about the issues in Montenegro with the England national team. Issues to the point that Danny Rose says, he can't wait to not be playing professionally anymore because he's sick of it. It can't just be punishment, but there has to be strong punishment. Later in that article about the incident from 2018, Verona was fined €20,000, $24,000 by the league for racist chants directed at Matuidi in December of 2017. $24,000. That's what you're fined. Obviously, it's not enough. So next time, and when you're on this list of clubs who have had this happen, you're talking six figures straight out the gates. Next time after that, you're talking points. Next time after that, you're talking games canceled, period. Not empty stands. No game.
Nope.
You don't play.
Okay.
And you forfeit it. And you lose the points. And you have a fine. And you keep adding on. But what you also do alongside of all that is you force that club to produce community programming, community educational seminars, programs your season ticket holders have to attend. You put this on the clubs to say you're going to educate your people that this is unacceptable. The fine, that should tell you something. It's obviously not. There has to be an educational component. That's the only way it changes. Does it change immediately? No. We hear the chant at Mexican national team games, at Liga MX games. Has it gotten better? I think it has. Is it going to continue to get better? It should. You hear it pop up now in an American stadium, in an American environment. There's a discussion and it goes away. It doesn't continue because a culture has been set. It's not, and this is where I definitely tread lightly because I have never lived in Italy. I don't know why the culture is the way it is, and I'm not going to make a judgment, but you know what's right and what's wrong at a big scale here. You have to undergo the educational side of it to make sure that everyone knows that. You have to. You have to change those cultural things. I've always felt like this stuff comes out of ignorance for the most part. Not always. There are bad people out there in the world. I'm a glass full kind of guy, but they're out there. We all know that. But there are a lot of people who follow that type of nonsense and become part of the mob mentality out of ignorance. Let's try to change that. Let's try to reach some of those people. And when this happens, it should be an opportunity for education to occur, and the club has to lead it. And if they don't, more fines, more points, all the way. They ignore it. They don't want to do it. They refuse to do it. You're relegated. Bye. See ya. If Juventus can get relegated for all of the drama that they caused and all of the problems they caused, relegate people for this nonsense. This is not the first time that this club has been involved in this type of behavior. It has to stop. There has to be an educational component along with stiffer penalties. There's just no other way for it to change.
I want to thank MLS for not being that damn league. Domestically, if idiocy pops up like that, it typically gets handled very quickly. I know that there's some issues up in NYCFC they got to work out, but for people who DM me and tell me, oh, it's not just Italy. Italy's not the only place where this happens. I don't cover Polish league. I don't cover Ukrainian league.
I mean, it's not, but it doesn't make it okay.
Exactly.
Like it happened in Brazil recently. We talked about it. It happened in Montenegro. It happens. It's sadly part of the human condition these days. It happens. That doesn't mean it's accepted because it happens in different places. Italy's had, a pretty long history with it in soccer. So, the Balotelli stuff is dead on. It's not new. This is not new to the public. This has been talked about for fairly publicly for at least a decade. It can't be swept under the rug anymore.
It can't be. And it's something that has to be handled. And I've given my responses. If you think that there's a better response out there, by all means, at me publicly. Don't DM me, at me publicly, and try telling me that what your solution is that's better than docking points, relegation, and cutting them out of Europe entirely.
I would include the educational component. That would be the thing that I would force. And that's at the club's expense. And maybe that is in lieu of a fine. I don't know. Or in addition to a fine, whatever. If that's how you escalate it, whatever. But I would force the club to have to do, and the federation, the league, UEFA, whatever, can decide what it looks like. I think probably for me it would be the season ticket holders, the official supporters groups. They have to undergo classes, educational programming about how this is not acceptable anymore. Not in our stadiums. No more.
Yeah. All right, Jason, let's take a break. Let's reset on the other side with some more entertaining stuff and some fun stuff from the world of over there. And we'll come back with exciting things. Hopefully we get a Jared _ appearance. I'm kind of not happy with Jared _ because he's out eating Antico right now without me. Jarrett, we're going to have words and a conversation you will not like.
Ooh,
right after these messages. Soccer over there.
Today's show is presented by Appolinsky & Associates, personal injury lawyers with over 30 years of experience, supporters of Atlanta United, Faction, and Inter-Atlanta Youth Football Club. If you've been hurt in a wreck, contact Steve today at steve@aa-legal.com or call in 24/7 at 404-377-9191. The initial consultation is free.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
We know that every driver is different, and a one-size policy does not fit all. That's why Country Financial offers a variety of discounts, so you get the coverage you need and the savings you deserve. From good driver to good student, multi-policy to multi-car, we've got a discount to suit every driver. Call Jason Wright at 678-568-6871 today to see what you could save. On Facebook at Jason Wright Agency, or by phone at 678-568-6871. Discounts vary by state. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Every hiring manager knows that a company is only as good as the people it's made from. So where do you find the best people? That may surprise you.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
This is talent worth knowing about.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for sticking with us. Thanks for sticking through that rant. I feel sometimes I kind of need to keep it real with the good people of the SDH universe. I'd like to think that we are a community where we can do that. Now, Jason, I'm ready to have fun. Are you ready to have fun now?
Let's do this.
Okay, let's do the damn thing here. We're going to do it live. UEFA Champions League coming up this week. We have a lot. We have just it's all fire matchups now. Okay, the random small team from Andorra is not making an appearance. So
the Elite Eight.
It's big time, baby. It's big time. All right, so let's go tomorrow, 3 p.m. You have Spurs versus Man City.
Oh
God, that's gonna be magical. And Liverpool versus Porto. Let's go ahead and call these games. Let's put it on the board. Man City versus Spurs. City has some injury trouble. Spurs, they haven't added any new players since the Eisenhower administration. Who do you think is getting through?
So I'm a little biased towards Tottenham at the moment because the last book that I read was a book about Pochettino, and it was kind of his diary of a season. Really enjoyed it. First off, just really great read. Really cool to kind of get to know a guy that, we saw a guy here in Atlanta that came from the same place, similar type of mindset. Cool to read Pochettino's, words about the way he sees the game. So I'm rooting for the guy right now. I don't think they're really in this. This is the home leg. They have to make the most of it. Manchester City, they're going for the quintuple. I mean, that's a lot of games. It's a lot of stuff at the moment. They've got to slip up somewhere.
Somewhere.
Think? But it's April 8th and the quintuple is still on. Like, that's insanity.
That's absolute insanity.
We kept waiting, like, it's gonna fall. I mean, they're gonna have to rest guys in the Gummy Bear Cup. No, the Carabao Cup. It's in the trophy case. The Community Shield. Okay, fine. You got one out of the way, so you've got two. All right. So now you've got League, FA Cup, and Champions League, and I think we know which one is the most important. It's Champions League. It's the one they don't have. It's the reason why they have put all the money into this project. It's the reason why, when they started the project, they hired every one of Pep Guardiola's friends from Barcelona that they could, knowing that he would be there eventually. And, yep, they waited it out after he went to Bayern first. And now it's paying off. And you're doing things that you just haven't really seen before. So one thing that's interesting about this one that is kind of the unknown intangible is that this will be the first Champions League match at the new Tottenham Stadium. Got a little extra oomph on the Spurs side, but do you think Spurs can do this? Do you think they can start this 180 minutes off with a big result over Manchester City tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking Spurs 2-1 tomorrow.
Okay. Is that enough?
No, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. I think City will, with a little bit of time to collect, they will handle business on their home end. But I would say that I just have a gut feeling, guys. I have no metrics to back this up. I have no kind of data to support this claim. So don't go put a ton of money based on this. People gamble for dumber reasons, but I'm just letting you know, don't put your money on this. I'm saying 2-1 Spurs over City tomorrow, and I think they're going to get absolutely drilled on the second leg. So
I'm going to go 2-2. I think it'll be a really fun one tomorrow. That's the one that I'm looking forward to out of this round. I think it'll be a blast, and I just don't think Spurs has quite enough. The whole thing about buying players, I totally get it, but the book that I was mentioning, Brave New World, it's by Guillaume Balage. You kind of get a sense and a glimpse at the way that Pochettino sees it, and I think you understand it a little bit more as to they are trying to do something different. They're trying to do something that, have we seen a club at this level do it with players that they've developed themselves? Barca did it. They haven't done it in a while.
Yep.
They've gotten away from that. I mean, let's look at this. Manchester City's not doing it.
Nope.
Liverpool's not doing it.
Nope.
Porto and Ajax are, but they're surprises here right now.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Know? They're the outliers for sure.
Yeah, they're the outlier. They're not supposed to be here at this stage. Juve, although they are developing some talent, I will be fair to that. They are developing talent. It is coming through some.
Most can see field time against Ajax is the question. But continue, please.
Manchester United, nope, they got away from it. Barca has gotten away from it. Tottenham, as much as trying to become part of the elite in England, they're trying to do it in a different way. They are a little stubborn about it. They are, you could even say, a little arrogant about it. But that's their vision, and I respect it. It's a different approach. Is it going to pay off? Can they get to the absolute pinnacle doing it? I don't think it's this year. I just don't think they have quite enough.
Well, one thing is that let's say Pochettino's, let's say theoretically that he was going to leave Spurs in the offseason, because that has been floated.
Yeah.
I mean, he was up for the Man United job. He was up for the Real Madrid job. Real Madrid is closed for business on the managerial front.
Yes.
Man United, by all appearances, done on the managerial front. If you are if you're Maurizio, you got to be looking at this as sort of you're managing for your next gig if you want to leave. Otherwise, you're committed to the project. I get it. I hope that's the case. I hope that he is to break the wheel.
I do. I think he is.
I mean, he doesn't really have a ton of options otherwise. I mean, the good, like let's say the cream of the crop jobs are drying up or are now gone, realistically.
Yes. See, that's the thing. I don't see him during the season that the book chronicled. There were some links to Barcelona for him at that point. And he's like, I would never go to Barcelona. I'm an Espanyol guy. You know, that's where he played. That's where he started his career. He's like, I'm not going to Barcelona. It's not happening. You know, loyalty is everything. For that reason, like, okay, Chelsea makes a change. He's not going to Chelsea. Like, you can mention him all you want, but it's not happening.
No.
I don't know where he would go. I don't think there's a better spot for him. I really don't.
I don't think he's going to Italy. There's only, I mean, Milan will be making a change. Inter will be making a change.
Would any of those be better than what he has?
No.
I don't. I think there's, 5, 6, maybe 8 to 10 clubs in the world that could be equal or better than what he has right now. Like,
I think this is as good as he's going to get right now. If the Real Madrid job had stayed open, I think he would have maybe been tempted by that. But going back to your book, him saying no, I wouldn't, take the Barcelona job. I would like
Espanyol and Barca, is like blood feud. So Madrid and Barca is a different kind of thing, and Madrid and Espanyol, there's really not anything. So I think he would have entertained it because you kind of have to. But I think he's really happy where he's at. I do.
Well, let's see if they do that. If they do it, if they follow through and they do the build from within and they do it right, I would like to see someone break the wheel of the buy, because I think it's reaching critical mass anyway. So, and if you were hearing the craziness in the background, ladies and gentlemen, Jarrett Smith just joined us.
I think Jarrett has put down the pizza long enough to chime in.
Jarrett, I hate you.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
We hate you, and we are jealous of your current location.
One lasagna pizza and a cup of biscotti and crema gelato later. Yeah, hey guys.
Jason, I need you to hang up on him. We don't need that negativity in our lives right now.
when your child loves gelato and loves pizza, you indulge that because you want them to like things that make everyone happy.
I like that you're exposing your child to good pizza early on.
And we're teaching her Italian too, so I mean.
I love it. You're doing well. You're doing well, my son. All hate has been removed.
Well, now that you've jumped on, Jarrett, you need to make a prediction for Tottenham and Manchester City tomorrow.
Oh, dang. Is it bad I haven't paid attention, really?
Yes.
It's bad.
Okay. Yeah. That happens. It's hard for me to bet against Man City, just the way things have gone over the last year plus, but at the same time, where's the leg at?
It's at the new Tottenham Stadium.
Oh, the new one. Give me Tottenham 2-1, and that.
There we go.
But that goal, that whole giving up a goal at home thing,
yep,
it ain't good. It ain't what you want out of life, and it can hurt you.
Your lesson that has been dropped quite a bit is what happened to City last year, where they went to Anfield in the first leg and got run out of the building in 30 minutes and were never able to recover. Have they learned from that? I think they have.
Are you doing it right now? They can learn from it, and they can get a goal against Tottenham in Tottenham. The thing is, if you're Tottenham, you give that goal, then you're going to City with zero margin for error. And I think that's the world we're about to start living in after 90 minutes tomorrow. Is sure Tottenham's got the lead, but they're going to have to hold a clean sheet at Etihad. And can they do that? Let's find out together.
I think Tottenham's going to have to be a little more open than they want to be, because I think they really need that 3-0 type of lead, and I just don't think they're going to find it. I'm 2-2 where I'm at with it. I've already been warned to be careful by Nathan Pugh, hardcore Liverpool fan, because Liverpool plays Porto tomorrow.
All right. I got my own Porto problems.
Okay. What are your Porto problems?
Former Porto assistants being linked to Celtic.
Celtic needs to get out of its own head. Your manager walked. He left. He could have waited. He left. He split town.
Yeah, and shout out to, for all the controversy he brings, shout out to Neil Lennon, because somebody asked him about, what if you guys win the treble? He said, well, this treble's Brendan. He took a high road during an interview about Brendan Rodgers and was very complimentary of his work and everything that they've got going this year, which they're in good shape to win the league in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So, yeah,
there's no benefit
it would take
in
a collapse.
Throwing Rodgers under the bus. So
no, and I'm glad he didn't. I'm happy he didn't. And you don't always get that with managers, though, and I think that's one of the things you have to consider is you're not always going to get that that kind comment, so as it were.
Now, here's the thing about Liverpool. We talked about it with Manchester City.
They hurt you?
Well, no. Let's get it this way. So Manchester
guys,
City.
If I may break in,
yes,
very quickly.
Yes.
Via the bat phone, John Nelson says 1-1 Man City, but Man City takes care of it at home. So he's saying 1-1 draw for.
So we're about on the same page.
Yeah, and Man City takes care of it at home. So that's the Nelson official take right there. And
Okay.
Now, gentlemen, if we could please move on to Liverpool and Porto.
So as I was saying about Manchester City, and we know what trophy out of the 3 that they have left that they're playing for, which is ridiculous. We know which one is the most meaningful. It's Champions League. For Liverpool, is that the same, or is the league trophy more important? I think the league trophy is. Do they potentially slip up in Champions League because of that?
Can we know by the end of the next match? Just can we know by what happens against Porto in that leg to know whether or not what's going to be?
It's in Liverpool.
Yeah, so
first.
If that home leg doesn't go your way, or it very much goes your way, I think that can dictate what the answer is. If they go up and they go up 3-0 or like 4-1 and take that to Porto, I think, man, this is what we're going after because we're on the doorstep of the biggest trophy in Europe. And I think that takes precedent. But if you go in there and let's say you have a nightmare against Porto, I think at that point it's, we're going to try. You're not going to phone it in against Porto in the second leg of the Champions League semifinal, but you're going to be really looking hard at the league.
I disagree. I think Liverpool, the league trophy is everything to them because it's been so long. They've never lifted the Premier League trophy. I think everything is built on winning the league. Champions League would be a great thing to win as well, but I just wonder if the focus is the same with the Premier League, still so tight. I think we'll get a good answer about it tomorrow. They get the home leg first. I think that actually helps them, Nick, to have the home leg first in this case because they can simplify things if they take care of business, beat a team that you're better than. You should take care of business against and get a nice win to where you can go down to Portugal and sit and not have to go chase the game. You don't want that extra drama at this stage as you're trying to win the league.
Nathan, turn off your device for a moment. Whatever you're listening to.
I didn't do it, Nathan.
Yeah. So John Nelson
wasn't me.
Porto is going to be pesky, but Liverpool gets through. I think Porto wins in Liverpool.
What?
I think they're going to win in Liverpool. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be 1-0. Wow. They're going to win. I think that Liverpool at the moment, like we've all talked about here, it's a house divided on what the primary goal is, what the organizational goals are versus what the players want. And I believe that division there, that lack of focus is going to cost them early, but I think they will get through. So Nathan, you can turn your device back on. I said Liverpool will eventually go through, but I think they slip up at home and give everyone in Liverpool a ton of gray hair in the process. So that is my official take. I say 1-0 Porto over Liverpool in Liverpool. The cop freaks out.
I'm gonna go 3-0 Liverpool. I think they just take care of business.
All right.
See, I thought I was going to be the controversial one because I'm going to take a 1-1 draw with Liverpool kicking themselves and missing chances.
Both of those, man, you talk about the pressure that I think is already there as Liverpool's closing in on 2 trophies, but doesn't want to get to a point where they miss out on both. They do have Chelsea on the weekend as well. It's at Anfield, but that's not a league match that you can really overlook in between this Porto tie. Now, Liverpool finishes out with the Candyland board game perfection 4 games run-in with at Cardiff, Huddersfield, at Newcastle, and Wolves. I mean, it's about as good as it gets for your final 4 matches. The Chelsea match is the most pressure-packed one, and it's in the middle of this Porto series. That's tricky. I think they take care of it, though, and I think they're motivated to take care of this early, and they do, and they come out and run Porto off the field.
Well, the problem here is that when you have a team that's fired up, right, and it looks like Liverpool's starting to get their mojo back, but the problem is when you have that game, when you have that Chelsea game looking over your shoulder, and you know you have to get ready for that, at some point that starts to affect today. If you start looking forward a little too much and you say whatever you want about Liverpool, be the greatest Liverpool fan in the world, is there a team in England that has tripped up outside of Spurs more than them? Where they've had it, where it looks like it's been, it's right there, so close. You know, that like the insurance commercials, like, got you $1. Oh, you almost had it. You know, like it's Liverpool and Spurs.
That's the Falcons pick, sir.
I mean, if Liverpool, I just think that I think Liverpool will get through. I don't think that's a problem, but I do think that you're only 2 points ahead of City right now, which is nothing. And yes, you will have the opportunity to go against some very beatable sides. You're going to smash Huddersfield. That's fine. But Cardiff will be fighting like crazy. Newcastle will be fighting like crazy. And that's, when fighting against a caged animal is never easy. So I think they have a very winnable series, but I also think it's one that the slip up could happen. Just tossing that out there.
You're 2 points clear, but Manchester City has the game in hand in league play.
Yeah.
So they go to Crystal Palace in between the Tottenham series. And then what's wild with Manchester City, and we probably should have mentioned it, they play at Tottenham tomorrow. They go to Palace on the weekend. They host Tottenham on the 17th, second leg of the Champions League quarterfinal. Then Tottenham should just hang out in Manchester because they host them again in league on April 20th. 2 games at the same building, 2 different competitions, 4 days apart.
Nathan Pugh says it's the league. The City would go nuts because they wanted it for so long. Nathan Pugh has chimed in with his official Pew take, saying that it's the league, baby.
That's amazing, and I love it.
Yeah, I think that they can't. They have to win the league. And Nick, full credit to you for not using. You said tripped up and not slipped up. I expected the slip comment.
I'm not that mean.
I was waiting for it.
I'm trying to be a better man in my life, Jason. I'm trying to be a better man.
All right, the game's on Wednesday. Ajax hosting Juventus in the first leg. Can the fairy tale continue?
No. Nobody knows how to grind out a game like Juventus. Juventus's B team would finish in the top end of Serie A. I don't care who's injured. It doesn't matter. Moise Kean has proven time and time again, whether it's the national team jersey or the Bianconeri, that he can score when he wants. So I'm going to take Juventus. That's going to go. They'll grind out a 1-0 win, and it will be pretty ugly in the process.
Yeah, I think Ajax, the home leg, it just needs to stay close. I honestly think they will have a better chance to play in the second leg. I think Juve grinds this out is the perfect way to put it. I don't think it's pretty. I think it's nasty. It's ugly. It's defensive. It's going to be tough for Ajax to get anything out of it. I think the second leg is where they might be able to pull the surprise, but they got to keep it close here. And if you can keep Juve off the board, if it's 0-0, okay, you can go and you can pretty much, you've got nothing to lose in the second leg. Jarrett, thoughts on Ajax and Juve on Wednesday?
Yeah, so this Juve team, and you talk about them grinding it out, the first thing that pops in my head is like the Jacob Coker era Alabama team or John Parker Wilson, where it's not pretty. It's not enjoyable to watch. But it's going to be a result.
You open this door. Who is the John Parker Wilson of Juve's current team?
Oh, that's Nick's territory. Who's the guy who's not great, but somebody just who's the guy who's not great, who's kind of the field general, who just kind of keeps things moving, but not in any way that could be considered spectacular at any level.
Emre Can.
There you go.
Good call. Yeah, that's it.
But it feels like that. It feels like that Juve team has got that Alabama feel where, like, you're not going to enjoy this unless you're, like, a fan of the team. You're going to watch something fun and beautiful get destroyed, a la how many, like, high-scoring Ole Miss teams have gone into Alabama and got railroaded. Like, it's the thing. Like, if we're going to belabor this analogy and beat the dead horse, Ajax needs a Johnny Manziel circa Texas A&M. I don't have a Johnny Manziel circa Texas A&M.
It can happen.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Juve gets it done over two legs. And it's something horrible, like 2-0 over two legs, where it's just
Frankie football. Come on.
Look, I think
I want to believe. I watched way too much Alabama football to believe, and I'm not going to let myself believe. If Ajax gets through them, though, then I will rip off the shirt, put on an Ajax shirt, and then ride that horse all the way to heaven or hell, wherever it goes.
I will say that with most teams like Ajax who had that moment where they smashed Real Madrid, that would be a bad thing for a lot of teams. I think it's great for Ajax because in their mind, it just says, hey, what we're doing can work. These guys are beatable. It's that one moment when you kind of make the giant bleed. And in that sense, Ajax has that ability now. They can walk in and play Juventus with a little bit more confidence than most other teams would have probably been like, oh my God, now the tension's up higher because we got past Real Madrid. Oh no. But say what you will about the state of that Real Madrid team. That's a huge boost for Ajax.
Yeah.
It's not going to be pretty, but Ajax could pull a miracle. My gut says it's not going to happen.
I think if it's just close coming out of this first leg, the second leg could be a really fun one to watch because then Ajax has nothing to lose on the road, especially. And I think Juve will feel the pressure in the second leg at home because they're kind of in the Liverpool situation. Everything's based around winning Champions League. I mean, that's all they're playing for. Serie A doesn't matter to them anymore because they win it every year. It's all about Champions League, and they spent a stupid amount of money to do it. Pressure's going to hit. It's going to be
it's like Celtic if they actually showed up for international competition.
No, it's like Celtic if they were good enough to be at this stage, and they're just not.
No, that's what I mean. Like the thing with them has been since probably Martin O'Neill took them in 2003. They're never on the field against another European opponent they never have acted, probably since then, that they act like they belong on that field.
Yeah.
Juve does, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, absolutely. The other game on Wednesday is Manchester United hosting Barcelona in the first leg of the quarterfinal. Ole Gunnar finally has his job, which is good. That drama has been resolved. He will be there for a few years now, as long as it works out. Hopefully it will. Can their fairy tale continue? Can Manchester United pull an upset on Barcelona in the quarterfinals?
No. Barcelona's going to smash them.
Smash, eh?
Yeah. This is going to be the first real I'm not going to say first real test because they've been tested, but I think that Barcelona, if they show up and show out, they have a lot of players who they're talking about transferring out in the offseason who are going to be playing for their next big job. So everybody, it's going to be all hands on deck to try to get this done. I think leg one, I think they may have some trouble, but I think in leg two, Barcelona is going to end up smashing them. I'll say, so for a score, I'll say it'll be, I'll say a 2-2 draw, an exciting, fun draw to start with, and then I think Barcelona comes out and shuts them out like 3-0 in the second leg. Jason Davies, I await your hate mail.
Jared, what do you think? Manchester United and Barcelona.
I think Barcelona slaps them upside the face and knocks the taste out of their mouth in the first leg and then kind of coasts in the second leg. I think Barcelona brings, basically brings a gun to a knife fight in leg one. And then from there, they're able to put enough distance where, they're going to run a good lineup out there for leg two. They're just not going to have to go beat them into the ground because United's still going to be digging their way out of the ground. That's not to take away from United's season or what United can be down the road. I think Barcelona's going to just basically throw a haymaker at them in round one.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I do think
if it doesn't connect those, they would be in trouble, but I think it will connect.
I think it's Barca's series to lose at this point. I mean, they're obviously the favorite. I think the underdog role actually suits Manchester United a bit. They've struggled at home, though, in the tournament. They lost to Juve at home. They lost to PSG at home. They did turn that PSG series around. I don't think they're going to turn it around if they lose at home to Barca. I think if they do, it's done. If Barcelona wins Wednesday, it's over. Forget it. There's no chance. I don't think they do, though. I think Manchester United gets a win, not enough of a win, but a win. I think it's a very entertaining 3-2 Manchester United win with a late goal and drama and excitement and that kind of Champions League magic night at Old Trafford. But by conceding 2 goals at home in the first leg, I think they're all but done. And they go down to Barcelona next week and lose. But I think they do have one more moment of glory in this tournament, and it's a late winner on Wednesday.
The official John Nelson pick for
Juve
right. is 1-0 Juve, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I could absolutely see that. And I think if it's 1-0 Juve in the first leg and Ajax goes to Turin in the second leg down 1-0, I don't think they're scared. I don't think they're feeling too bad about it. And I do wonder how Juve handles that pressure. I think 1-0, that's okay. It sounds weird to lose the home leg 1-0 and be okay, but I think it might actually work in this case for Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested in these games. I think they're all pretty – they've all got some interesting stories to them.
Yeah, well, Juventus has the most really to lose out of any of these teams, to be honest. They don't have the financial flexibility that
they have to win.
They have to win. This entire project, like Man City, is built for a Champions League win. The difference is they don't have 19,000 companies from the Middle East that are secretly funneling them money to help get around financial fair play. So
they have other people funneling them money, just not quite as many different people.
That's right. So, but Juventus is under a ton of pressure. They have Serie A all, but I think it's, they're popping champagne left and right. But at the same time, there's a lot of already of conversation about where is Allegri going to remain? Will he leave? Who would come in to take his place? What's going to happen with Dybala? Do you keep Ronaldo for another year? What's going to happen with his legal troubles? What's going to, Douglas Costa? What about him? They have so many questions right now, so many things off the field that are affecting them that they have to be focused. And Ajax is a team that will rip you to shreds if you're not focused, as we saw. I think Man City can get it done. They have to be focused as well. They have some injury challenges they have to get over. But, the rest of this, Liverpool, there's a lot riding on this for them. But they have the league to look at. Manchester United, how good do you feel about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if they get smashed by Barcelona? This is probably one of the juiciest Champions League days in recent memory that I can remember, where there's so much, not just in this set of games, but off the field for them as well.
Yeah, all four are really interesting. Like, there's just so many different stories in it. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to watch all of this tomorrow. It's going to be very good. What else grabbed your attention from the weekend in the world of soccer, Nick?
International Champions Cup is coming to the United States, as we know. Guys, get a hold of some of this pricing. All right, this is for the Real Madrid Atletico game up in New York. Section 305, row 24, $73.30.
Oh, I want to play Price is Right on that.
There we go. Section 309, row 19, $94.30. What in God's name is up with this pricing?
They think it's a U.S. national team game.
Oh, and the meteor of truth comes blistering toward the surface. Show me the lie.
Wow.
There are no lies detected. What in God's name do they think they're doing with that pricing? That's so stupid. And you're talking about having games in Houston with that kind of pricing?
For a friendly?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's absolutely mind-bending to me that you're charging that for a friendly. And if you were trying to do this, 10 years ago, maybe, but people in the U.S. have a pretty good idea of what good soccer looks like. Believe it or not, MLS is watchable. Rest of Europe. Believe it or not, people are spending money on the game here. I'm not spending $94 if I live in New York to go watch this mess. And if they were intelligent and did any sort of market research, they would learn that most people in the New York, New Jersey area don't spend money on soccer to begin with. So get all of your game right before you try putting those prices out there. This is my 2 cents on that.
I'll agree with all that. I think we all need to go get the latest edition of 442 because there's a huge feature written by Phil Hay of the Yorkshire Evening Post about Marcelo Bielsa, El Loco. A couple highlights because there's some really good stuff in it. He gave Newell's Old Boys more than £2 million of his own money to fund a brand new facility at their training ground. And he said, I'm not making a gift, I'm paying a debt because they're the club that formed me. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Also, the El Loco part of it, the renovation of the training ground was delayed because of Bielsa's complaints that the light switches between the beds that he had requested to be installed were off-center. Attention to detail. Nothing gets by El Loco. But this is the one that I love. Every Wednesday in training, Leeds have a 45-minute game, and in the article that's called Murder Ball. It's 11v11, no free kicks, balls in play constantly. One of Bielsa's assistants is the referee, in air quotes, but there's no free kicks. So it's just chaos. They kill
I'm pretty sure they have like a no-rules version in FIFA 19, so yeah. This is the guy who was like my second choice for the Atlanta United job, by the way, just so we're clear. Like my dream choice. It was not going to happen.
It's just amazing.
Nothing but respect for my president.
A couple other like great things here. He gives lollipops to the kids who are waiting for the team's bus to arrive. He's invited fans who come up and talk to him in the street to come to the training ground with him. Someone at Leeds asked him about his devotion to just having one plan, one way to play, and not having like a plan B and a plan C and a plan D. He said, the idea of having alternative plans is considered a virtue, but I do not agree with this point of view. And then in answering that question, he went into an 8-minute apology to Hernan Crespo over a perceived slight that occurred almost 20 years earlier. Okay.
This is, it's amazing.
Yeah.
This is on 442?
Yeah.
Look
it's
upon
in the new
this man,
442.
mortals, and weep for what you will not ever achieve. For he is Ozymandias, but the statues ain't falling, y'all.
Oh, so magnificent.
Yeah. It's just amazing. So Marcelo Bielsa, Leeds are trying to get promoted. I mean, how much do we want to see Bielsa in the Premier League next year?
Put it in my veins. I'm all on it. I'm all in on this.
Selfishly, I don't, because I want to see it fail. Not because I hate Leeds. It's nothing against Leeds or Bielsa. I want to see it fail. I want to see him leave. I want to see him in MLS. I don't care if it's not with Atlanta. I want to see him doing American soccer. And then I want to see him square up on half the pundits in this country, because don't think he won't.
No, you know what the thing is? I don't think he would. I honestly think that when somebody... I don't think he would do the Bob Bradley thing and call everybody morons and say, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm not going to give you any more information because you're stupid. I don't think he's going to do that. I think, honestly, if somebody asked him a question, he would answer it. And if he felt like it wasn't a very informed question or it wasn't a great question, he would then probably go on about a 2 or 3 hour press conference to explain everything and make sure that reporter learned something by the end of it. I really think he would do it. Like, he's that guy.
I'm completely on board with that. I think he absolutely would. And it would be a full-on clinic, again, with an overhead projector.
I mean, the guy was... The rumors were, the reports hours before his press conference about a staff member being caught spying on an opponent. The reports were he's resigning, he's leaving, he can't, there's no way he could survive this. And then by the end of the press conference, everybody thought it was the greatest thing in the history of the sport. Like, it's amazing. They're 1 point out of an automatic promotion spot right now. Sheffield United is on 77 points. There's 8 matches left. Is that right? No, 6 matches left, sorry, in the championship. Norwich is 8 points clear of Leeds. They're in first, or 7 points clear of Sheffield United. They don't have it wrapped up, but they're pretty close to doing that. Sheffield United 1 point ahead of Leeds at this point. I want to see Leeds in the Premier League. I want to see it so bad.
I'm all in on this, and I think that if that happens, the football gods will surely be shining on us. Gentlemen, Raw after WrestleMania is a legendary, awesome thing, and it's coming on here just a little bit, so we are going to limit stoppage time. Are we cool with limiting stoppage time today for this wondrous occasion?
We are cool with limiting stoppage time. If you're listening to this afterwards, let us know your Champions League predictions so we can all see who got it wrong the most, because we all do. That's how we go. So tweet at us.
It's probably going to be me.
Very possible. Tweet at us at Soccer Down Here, at Sock Over There, and let us know your predictions. I mean, you might be right, Jared. You might be right. I don't know. Let Ivy pick next time.
The Duchess is saying bye-bye to the SDH universe.
All right.
I let Ivy pick more often than y'all know.
Yeah, true.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it as always. I will be dropping some more hot drops soon that are not extraordinarily angry and explosive. And we have a wonderful event coming up very soon up at Re-Ra on April 22nd. Magnificent. There will be people there. Names I'm not dropping yet, but we hope to have some names there for you.
First person that megs Nick with a ball, with a mini, like a size 1 ball in the bar, I'm buying their drink.
Yes.
Bring the ruckus because I will be tackling like Maldini. Let's go. But we will see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for listening. It is Nick, Jason, and Jarrett and John out there on the roads right now. Much love to you, man. We will talk to you all very soon. Mucha Euro, y'all.
Mucha Euro, y'all.